It ain't funny, but don't deviate from my tip about bovines and hogs, especially from conditions in which they were farmed. Ms. Kelly worked for a leading business magazine. She visited East several times on business trips. She had time and again pointed discrepancies in official figures related to poultry and meat. She left Kashi a tip on his messenger yesterday. The receptors on swine cells are not at all harmful to humans, yet someday, it will haunt the collective, and that time has come. She said.
Kashi chagrined in a flirtatious way. Was it not for Jesus Christ to succumb to his demise because of a few white young swine on his dinner table? Da Vinci portrayed in his masterpiece. He thus named the Last Supper. Isn't that the chalice hidden in the painting?
Kelly replied, "It ain't funny, but don't deviate from my tip about bovines and hogs, especially from conditions in which they were farmed."
Kelly, hold on a second, let me do a quick research, Kashi replied.
I am not joking, I know you have statistics of the past several years, and it doesn't tally. She rolled her eyes away from his grin. Look, you are supposed to follow protocols, as laid down by the center.
If you insist, ma'am, then all right, what do you want me to do? He asked.
I want you to look at the strains from as far as Africa. As she spoke, Kashi interrupted her call.
Why are you putting Africa on the map?
Kashi and Kelly words mingled over the call. Africa is hugely impacted, and it would be wise to keep them alive. Over a brief period of silence, Kelly and Kashi retrospected their thoughts. Kelly went ahead and spoke. The political fallout from this apocalypse is dangerously close to us. Are you seriously unaware of future losses?
Kashi said. I am well aware. What can I do?
She replied, prescribe avoid eating batches from past and current year.
Bad idea. He administered with a not so commanding voice. He muttered, I want this to simmer for as long as I don't develop the cure.
Why are you doing this? Just put an advisory over already administered advisory. It won't cost you a dime, and an emergency would be spared.
Not until 2 months, Kashi commanded.
Why? She asked.
Because I want it that way. I have many things to do rather than adding advisories, he replied.
So you have your reasons, which you don't disclose. Swine, she spoke the last word so softly that Kashi couldn't hear it.
What did you just say? Bitch. Without keeping his voice low, he interrupted.
You have no authority to speak to me like that. I rather do not talk to you, she was commanding at this moment.
Call me Doug. I am sorry. We both know we are professionals. Kashi ego panicked.
I have to leave now. Call over, bye. She hung up the call as Kashi returned his greetings towards her.
Kashi knew as Dr. Brown approached behind the glass walls, most probably hearing the conversation. Not just Dr. Brown. Every scientist was sort of hearing as they talked loudly over calls sometimes. Kashi thought so, but sound cannot escape these impenetrable glass walls until the door is open. He couldn't remember if Dr. Brown entered his room while conversing with Kelly. Dr. Brown also pretended that he was not interested in whatever they spoke over conference call. So are you hungry? Can we grab a cheeseburger from the cafeteria? Asked Dr. Brown. Kashi inquired. Who's serving looking at the screen without lifting his eyes? If no one, then it will be me. Dr. Brown intended Kashi not to skip meals over work. His energy is vital in keeping the mission off from critical stages now. What is your plan for the next day? Are you flying to meet Dr. Law? Asked the old man as they walked towards the cafeteria in tow. I am not going to show back yet, Kashi said. Please continue. Ah, here is my fat lady gate nest. What are you cooking, honey? Kashi sat down on the table. Dr. Brown went ahead and began chatting with the cafeteria slim owner. 3. Kashi spun satirical